I wanted to come here and talk about projection, but in a different way than I've talked about it before. So we've talked about how often we project our own trauma onto our partners, onto our children, our even friends and family, right? And the people around us at the workplace or our clients as well. But we've only covered the stuff, that we've accumulated so far, our past trauma, so to speak. But what happens is that even in our current relationships, people project onto us without us even understanding it, without us even recognizing it in the first place. And this happens through manipulation, okay? So a person can know a lot about your past, about your trauma, about your insecurities, about your jealousy, about your anger, about all these things that you've been working so hard at and on to heal. And they know what you struggle with. And they have this thing where they are very good at using it against you without you even realizing it. And this is when many times you're like, dang, I'm so broken. There must be something wrong with me. But they do it in such a way that it seems at the time like they're helping you. And then when you've kind of have had enough and you lash out, or you start speaking up and you start setting boundaries, they start having a problem with it. But the whole time they planted it in you. So in a way, you're expressing to them what they planted in you, right? And then they start calling you not names necessarily, but they start calling you out on it, like, oh, you're projecting your stuff onto me. But in reality, they originally projected their own stuff onto you in a very manipulative way, and now you have internalized all this stuff, and you are simply reflecting back to them what they planted into you. And this is a scary thing when it comes to not having the level of awareness in a situation when you're going through it and you don't know until you're out of the situation. So that's why I'm here, so we can talk about these things, so you pay attention to some of the things you may have missed, ignored. So a person will tell you you're manipulative, you're controlling. Oftentimes, people who are extreme people pleasers will call you controlling because you like to have boundaries and you like to have structure and you like to have order and things like that, and you want to know where you're headed. People who don't like to collaborate, they'll do another thing and so on. And they'll call you something. They'll call you the very thing that they're doing or the opposite of it to make you feel guilty, and to put the attention and awareness back onto you. So oftentimes with people like this, you'll come with something, you'll tell them, hey, I have an issue with this, just to find yourself apologizing at the end, wondering what's wrong with you, and wondering where did all the progress go, all the progress I thought I'd made in my healing journey so far. So just like a cheater will tell you, or will tell you you're the one cheating and you know you're not cheating, but they tell you you're cheating so often that you start feeling bad about it, knowing you haven't cheated, just to kind of disguise the very fact that they're doing it. This happens too with things like manipulation, control, projection, even abuse, right? A person will tell you you're abusive, you're controlling, you're projecting your own stuff, you're manipulating. You're afraid, you're insecure. But it's like my coach said, most of the time when people are speaking, they're speaking to themselves. So all the things that you're hearing about yourself that aren't making sense, but your past wounding, or not past even, it's current, that still lives inside of you, is making you question your reality, your sanity. And in a way, you have put this person on a pedestal. You're like, what the heck? I need to continue to work on me. I need to continue to work on me because I'm doing all these things. But somewhere deep inside, you know you've made progress. Somewhere deep inside, you know you're an incredible person. Somewhere deep inside, you know that you don't have the intention to manipulate, to control, to project, and that you do check yourself. And when someone in a kind way, kind, loving way, expresses to you what you're doing that isn't very healthy or helpful, you don't mind taking constructive criticism and putting it into action. But when someone deliberately continues to tell you that you're doing something, and you're like, what? And you start believing it, well, that becomes the scary thing. And that's what we have to look out for, because when we are on our trauma healing journey, we're so focused on our healing sometimes, and there's so much ownership that's being taken that sometimes we don't recognize when other people are projecting their projections onto us. And then when we reflect these projections back to them, they tell us it's our stuff, but when in reality it was originally their stuff. It's a scary but real truth, and it happens to the best of us, to all of us in a way. But again, I'm here to talk about it, to bring awareness and light to it, to make you pay a little more attention, because I do want you to be fully focused and present, and to take ownership, and to make sure your awareness is on you and your growth and your healing. But at the same time, to be aware of what people are doing and how they're projecting their own stuff, and to be attentive to what comes up to you, for you, in you. Is this my stuff? Or is this something that was programmed into me as a child? Is this my insecurities? Or are these insecurities my mom's? Is this talk mine, or is it my partner's? Good morning, Shayla. Hi, beautiful. Is this me doing this? Am I projecting? Or am I only expressing back to this person what they already planted in me? When we're around loved ones, especially someone that we've spent a lot of years with too, a romantic partner, we start depending on them, right? I've talked about interdependence many times, and the lines can get blurred when it comes to being independent / being dependent, and finding that balance there. Because we do tend to trust more than the situation calls for many times. We tend to put all our power and our faith into another person, and sometimes we forget that they can do anything with that. With that being said, this doesn't mean distrust people. It just means be aware and pay attention to what's being said to you. Pay attention to whether what they are expressing to you, telling you that you're doing, whether it's true or not. So pay attention, because again, we've talked about projection in terms of, yes, you're projecting your own stuff. But there are also situations where someone has already projected something onto you, their stuff, their sense of, their lack of self-worth, their insecurities, their abandonment issues, their rejection issues, their neglect wound, their lack of trust, their lack of adequacy, right? So this is what we also have to pay attention to. And the further we get on our journey of healing, the more we're able to recognize what's ours and what's theirs. So we stop internalizing that, and we're able to break those bonds, right? So this was the message for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to comment, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah.